Okay, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the presentation. Thank you so much for being here. And we are now live, and now we have sub chat on for TikTok. And yeah, well, here we are. Hello, hello, hello. Yeah, beautiful rosaries too. Okay, everybody. So I appreciate you guys being here. Happy Saturday to you. Yeah, wherever you are in this beautiful, beautiful world, happy Saturday. Hopefully, you're having a right. The numbers are already falling once you put sub chat on. Okay, a couple of things. For those of you who are on TikTok, we do have subscriber chat on only. However, everybody can watch it. And then later on, we'll turn the chat on for everybody later on. But right now, no, we don't want to deal with the trills. Okay. All right. So for those of you who would like to, thank you, Donna. Very cool. Wow, the dragon. See, you guys on all the other social media platforms, you guys get them. You miss these really cool gifts that people. It's really cool. All right. So let's get into this. How's that? So I'm Bishop Long. If you want to go to my website, it's very simple to do. BishopJamesLong.com. BishopJamesLong.com. And you can head on over there. By the way, I want to everybody, please make sure you go to the websites. You guys know, for those of you who follow us, you know what we're going to say. Please go to KGRAD as in dog, B as in bicycle.com. That's okay, AJ. So KGRADB.com. That's it. So moderators, if you could put that in the chat. On TikTok, KGRAD as in dog, B as in bicycle.com. And then click on the shop link. And if you do that, just click my name. And do we have any moderators here now on TikTok? Oh, there you go. Thank you, Bill. I'm sorry, Jax. I'm sorry. There you go. I'll pin that sucker right there. Okay. So everybody go to kgradb.com and click on the shop link. And if you would please, make sure you click on my name. And then when you do, there's a lot of really cool items there, and buy all of them. Buy everything you got there. And here's why. For those of you who follow us know that 100% of the profit that I would make off selling my merchandise there on the KGRADB radio shop site, 100% of that is going to MKS Kids Foundation. It is an orphanage. It is in Uganda. I've had the opportunity to get to know the person who runs it. He's a fantastic young man, fantastic. And they need some help. Right now we've only sold about 10 things. So while that is a good start, there's a lot more work we got to get into. So thank you, everybody. Thank you. So please do me a favor and share that website, because not only they have some really cool St. Michael items, by the way, some really cool St. Michael stuff, but you're also helping an orphanage. You're helping kids get food and clothing and a shelter, and of course education. And I think it's wonderful. I think it's a beautiful thing. Why not? Let's help them out. So kgradb.com. Click on the shop link. Also, if you guys want to, what you can do is go to my website, BishopJamesLong.com. Oh, great. Fantastic, Chrissy. So BishopJamesLong.com. I'm going to put a link up there for the shop. I need to do that. So I'll be doing that. And then the church's website, it's usocc.org. That is the church. So if you want to know more about the church community that we belong to, usocc.org. There it is. It's all there for you. Now, a couple of things to remind you about. One, is it skipping? Is it skipping bad? Do I have to? Oh, a lot of people saying it's lagging. It must be a TikTok issue on live. Yeah. So, do you want my? I can restart it. It's not a big deal. If I need to restart it, I can restart it. The TikTok is having an issue. Go out and come back. Yeah, it's been like that all week. It's good now. Yeah, if it does that for you guys, just go out and come back in. It's a TikTok issue. So, okay. Now, I want to remind everybody that tomorrow we have a Bible study at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it airs on all the platforms here. Now, we also have Mass. Mass will be here in my private chapel, but that will only air on TikTok. And that's at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you, Debbie. Thank you very much. Very kind of you. So there it is. Okay, Mass is at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on TikTok only. Only because it's just too complicated to try to run it on this. No. So, okay. There it is. That is the schedule. Monday through Friday, we have night prayer. And that's at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard. So we pray for one another. And don't forget, we also have the rosary. So people keep saying, well, you need to start talking more about the rosary. Well, you need to start showing up because we actually give rosaries away to people and during night prayer. And we pray the rosary Monday through Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay? And all you got to do, if you want to know, just simply go to usocc.org and click on the rosary. And it takes you to Bishop Elizabeth, I think their user, Bishop Elizabeth's Facebook page. And there we go. And many of the laity and even the Benedictines and clergy pray with Elizabeth. I think it's beautiful. I think it's great. So anyway, that's Monday through Friday. Don't forget Monday through Friday. And you got to go to her Facebook page. Okay? So we have a lot going on here. There's a lot of outreach. Thank you, Starla. Thank you very much. For those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about, thank you, Teresa. My friends there on TikTok offer gifts during the live. So many times you'll hear me say thank you, and that's obviously I'm thanking our friends for offering the gifts. Unfortunately, I can't run TikTok on StreamYard. I wish I could. Because if I could run TikTok on StreamYard, boy, that would be a whole different ballgame. I mean, that would be phenomenal. But unfortunately, TikTok doesn't allow third-party applications like StreamYard to connect to it, or at least they didn't. They didn't used to. Okay, so how's everybody doing? Before we get into our Saturday show, how's everybody doing? Are we okay? Thank you very much. Okay, chaplaincy. So, folks, if you're interested in the chaplaincy, then here's what you need to do. Now, the chaplaincy is a phenomenal program. I strongly encourage you. Many people have always thought about becoming chaplains, and perhaps maybe, you thought you couldn't do it because a variety of reasons. Well, let me just share a little bit about who we are. So have you considered helping others, but not wanting to be perhaps even a minister of a church? Or you're not a minister of a church? Well, there is an alternative. It is the International Circle of Faith Chaplaincy. It's a Christian World Network. And what we have is a chaplains program. And chaplaincy is found in the military, healthcare, law enforcement, education institutions, resorts, Job Corps, nursing homes. Chaplains provide counsel. So they help with compassion and counsel in areas of stress and danger. For example, each state police and fire personnel risk their lives to serve and protect others. And you can start out as an associate chaplain if you have no experience whatsoever. And that's for individuals who do not meet initial requirements as a full chaplain with recognition from the ICOF chaplaincy. There's also, for those who do not have the necessary funds or is in the process of completing educational requirements, and once the requirements are met, then the candidate is approved for full chaplaincy. So if you would like to look into this, then you can email Dr. Campbell. And his email address is Dr. Campbell, CAMP, BELL, Thank you very much, Bill. So it's Dr. Campbell at aahea.org. For those of you who are on Facebook and all this other, you can see it there. So there it is, guys. Okay, Dr. Campbell at aahea.org. Sure. Honestly, they're a phenomenal organization. As a matter of fact, I have my badge, which is right there. And yeah, it's right over there. So it's a beautiful badge. Well, let me grab it 1 second. Let me do something real quick. Hang tight with me for a moment, and let me get that. So this is the badge that you can order once you get it, but that's what it is. That's what it looks like here. There it is. For those of you who want to see it. Okay. It is absolutely beautiful. And of course, they come with that. You can put it on your belt buckle, or when I do chaplaincy, I always just like to have this around the neck. It's just easier to do it this way. So I encourage you, if you want your chaplaincy, there it is. Yeah, it just went off for because I turned it off because I had to get this badge. So I'm telling you, it's a great program. The training program is terrific. I've seen the training. It's a really fantastic program. Okay, so you might want to consider doing that. All you got to do again, Dr. Dr. Campbell at AAHEA. All right, and there we go. That's they will, absolutely they will. They work with everybody. You don't have to have experience. They train you. From if you have zero experience whatsoever, they have a program for you. If you have a lot of experience, they have a program for you. So take advantage of this, guys. I honestly, and this is true, one of the greatest ministries that I have ever truly done in my life, and I've done a lot, is chaplaincy. There is something very, very special about chaplaincy. And oh my gosh, there is such a need for chaplains right now, especially in nursing homes. Because regrettably, a lot of the nursing homes are kind of forgotten about. And so if you have not, if you have not thought maybe you could ever do it, I'm telling you, you can. I've seen the program. I know the program. The training program is really fantastic. Okay, so there we go, guys. That's the information about that, and please consider doing that. Well, thank you very much, Debbie. Thank you. All right, we have a lot to go over because we did not go over any of our topics last night because we were doing a presentation. Well, thank you there, Zanto. Thank you. I've always wanted to be interesting. You should see some of these these gifts are pretty cool. We also have a stupid criminal segment tonight that we're going to talk about that too. Okay, I think we've done this article before, and there is my little glasses. Boy, I tell you what, thank you guys. All right. 1 second, let me grab this. Okay, let's do this now because people keep asking about it. I've already made several videos. This will be the last time we're going to discuss it. TK Randall writes this. Dan Rivera dies suddenly, again, while on Annabelle Haunted Doll Tour. So the 54-year-old paranormal investigator passed away while on his sold-out Devils on the Run tour. A well-known figure paranormal circles, Dan Rivera, had previously appeared in the Travel Channel's Most Haunted Places and served as a producer for Netflix 28 Days Haunted. His most recent role had been with the Devils on the Run tour that saw him, along with other members of the New England Society for Paranormal Research, or Psychic Research, travel around the United States with Annabelle, the infamous haunted doll that inspired some of the Conjuring movies. He had just finished a 3-day sellout stop in Gettysburg when he was found unresponsive in his hotel room, prompting a call to the emergency services. Despite the best efforts from paramedics, they were unable to revive him. According to the coroner's office, his passing did not appear to be suspicious, although right now it remains unclear exactly what happened. His close association with the Annabelle doll has since prompted a great deal of speculation over whether this might have something to do with it. The doll itself has been a magnet for paranormal activity since 1970s, when Ed and Lorraine Warren claimed to have witnessed it physically moving. And the other article that we're going to discuss is, well, there's two articles. And then, because I'm just going to kind of be done with this because, you know. But this is by Dan Hetching. Coroner says Annabelle doll was not present in the hotel room where paranormal investigator Dan Rivera suddenly died. Now, unfortunately, they have to address this because people went on social media saying that Dan had the doll in the room with him. It's so irresponsible that people are just spreading these lies. So a Pennsylvania coroner is revealing new details surrounding the sudden death of Dan Rivera. Anyway, Francis Dutro, coroner in Adams County, Pennsylvania, told CNN on Thursday that the doll was not present in the hotel room where Rivera died earlier this week. So anybody, I'm telling you, if you go to anybody's social media posts and they're posting this, I would block them. I would just block them. And the reason being is because all those people are doing is spreading lies, sensationalism. That's all they're doing. They're spreading lies so they can make a buck off the passing of this gentleman. And that's disgusting. So, thank you, Debbie. So know that Annabelle was not in his room. And as I talked about the other night, everybody's talking about Annabelle causing the passing and all this other stupid stuff. Well, here's the problem. No one's talking about the GoFundMe. Isn't that interesting? We're talking about how Annabelle was responsible for his passing, but nobody talks about the fact that the family is asked to go GoFundMe because it's not sensational. So Harrison Jones write this. A GoFundMe has started for a paranormal investigator who passed away in Gettysburg during Annabelle tour. So a GoFundMe has been started by the family of a paranormal investigator, Dan Rivera, who passed away in Gettysburg during a visit on the Devils on the Run tour. So Rivera, the senior lead investigator in the New England Society for Psychic Research and a U.S. Army veteran, passed away on Sunday during his visit to Gettysburg for the tour. The GoFundMe was started by one of Rivera's 4 children, David Rivera, who said the fundraiser would go towards the funeral and memorial expenses for his father and support his family. Quote, without a life insurance policy in place, expenses for services for him and after life care for his kids is hard, David Rivera wrote in the fundraiser post. The fundraiser, which had raised $2,768 as of Thursday morning of this when it was written. State police said in a Wednesday news release that Rivera had been found passed away, deceased of natural causes in his hotel room on Sunday evening, and that nothing suspicious was noted in his death. So anyway, there is the coroner's office said Rivera's death was not suspicious, that the results of a routine autopsy could take between 30 and 60 days. So the family is starting, you can just type in Dan Rivera, GoFundMe, and there you go. But, well, I'm going to discuss this. And I'm going to discuss this because I don't know if you're new here, but we are bombarded with this. And that's why I said before I started, this is the last time I'm addressing this issue. Because I am getting fed up with it, as you are. And it's what's important. Yeah, what's important is that people need to know that there is a GoFundMe. But people are not going to share that. They're going to continue to share that Annabelle caused the passing of Dan's. And that's just nonsense. They got to stop that. But that's sensationalism, isn't it? That's sensationalism. So I would rather pass on positive news. And the GoFundMe is positive. out of this terrible tragedy, there is something positive, which is the family's asking for assistance. Yeah, user, I just gave you an answer. So we're doing this. I agree with you. User, what is it? 9888. Right. You're right. You're right, Rod. Unfortunately, GoFundMe posts don't get clicks. And that's true. And that's true. But for those of you, many of you are not in this chair. None of you are, except for me. The moderators know this because the moderators and the people who are here all the time know how slammed we have been getting lately with that question. The same question over and over and over and over. So this is the first time that I've actually presented articles on this, and this is the last time we're going to discuss this. I do not believe Annabelle caused this man's passing. And people are idolizing this doll. They're turning this doll into an idol. Thank you, Jin Jin. And that is dangerous and irresponsible. So what I will do, however, and I will not be silent about this, I will remind people that there is a GoFundMe. And that's what we should be sharing. We should be sharing that there's a GoFundMe for him and for his family. So there we go. So next time someone asks, moderators, I think that the next someone's going to ask, because they will inevitably tonight when I open it up, there'll be people asking, say, there's a GoFundMe. Go donate. There you go. Oh, excellent. Well, thank you there, user 9888856. So I appreciate that. Thank you. Okay. All right, let's get into some very cool. Can you believe this? Listen to this, everybody. Why can't things from Mars land right in front of my house? You know? Well, here's what I mean by this. This is Dave Collins wrote this. A largest piece of Mars on Earth fetches $5.3 million at an auction. 5.3 million. It's a pretty large. Well, listen to this. So the largest piece of Mars ever found on Earth was sold for just over $5 million at an auction of rare geological and archaeological objects in New York on Wednesday. But a rare young dinosaur skeleton stole the show when it fetched more than $30 million. $30 million. I mean, do people have that much money? 30 million for a young dinosaur? Anyway, the 54-pound rock named NWA 16788 was discovered in the Sahara Desert in Niger by a meteorite hunter in November 2023, after having been blown off the surface of Mars by a massive asteroid strike and traveling 140 million miles to Earth. That's pretty cool. According to Sotheby's. Now, the estimated sale price before the auction was between 2 and 4. The identity of the buyer was not immediately disclosed. The final bid was $4.3 million, adding various fees and costs. And the official sale price was about $5.3 million. But the live bidding was slow. So with the auctioneer trying to coax more offers and decreasing the minimum bid increases, my goodness. I mean, that's a lot of money. But the skeleton, the dinosaur, with a pre-auction estimate of between 4 and 6 million, is one of the only known 4 skeletons of a juvenile skeleton of the species, which resembles a Tyrannosaurus Rex, but it's a smaller one. Can you? So it doesn't say. Let's see. Bidding of the skeleton started at high advance of 6 million, then escalated during the live round, with bids $500,000 higher. Goes on, and ending at $26 million. So a winner, and get this, the winner of the dinosaur skeleton is loaning it to an institution. I mean, that's cool. But the official sale was $30.5 million with fees and costs. That buyer also was not immediately disclosed, but the auction house said that the buyer plans to loan the skeleton to an institution. $30 million. I mean, that's nice. But you have $30 million? Oh, I'm just going to loan it to you guys. Okay. You know what? It must be nice. It must be nice. I'm definitely in the wrong business. I can't imagine $30 million. I would have a heart attack right there, right then and there. Okay. You put it in your living room. I mean, really, $30 million. I can't. But to be able to have that type of money, and then I'll just loan it to an institution. There you go. You guys can put it in your museum. What? Yeah, right. That's exactly right. It's time to start looking for dinosaur bones. I don't know if you guys heard about this, but Area 51. Well, this was by Forrest McFarland. Area 51 was at risk as a huge fire. It was creeping a little closer to the base with black smoke filling air, sparking wild UFO conspiracy theories, of course. So for those of you who don't know about this, a massive fire broke out near Area 51 in Nevada. And UFO conspiracy theorists, of course, fear historic evidence could be destroyed. Well, thank you there, Becca. So dramatic images have captured plumes of smoke erupting outside the remote Air Force base north of Las Vegas. That's right, Deborah. The dangerous Gothic fire has been burning through Nevada for days, and the Bureau of Land Management, which is managing the incident, said it wasn't contained. Well, contained now. No, we're going to talk. Why do you keep telling me to talk about something else? I mean, I appreciate you being here, but please stop telling me, can we talk about something else? It's kind of getting rude. I mean, I appreciate you subscribing, but you've done this several times already, and no, this is what we're going to talk about. So just kind of tone down I don't understand that. That doesn't make a lot of sense. So this is what we're going to talk about. Anyway, the blaze was sparked by a lightning strike that lit up trees in Clark County, just 45 minutes north of Las Vegas on July 4th. Now it's swelled from 9,000 acres to 35,000, and it's burning on the Nevada Test and Training Range, withdrawn lands, which are used for nuclear testing. A thick haze has also wafted all the way down to Las Vegas from the brush fire, but no one is in danger. It seems to me the radio contamination, Area 51, right, yeah. And we don't know necessarily what happened or why it happened. Some people are saying that it was, some UFO crash or something. No, I just think obviously it's just the fires broke out. So conspiracy theorists immediately have rattled off baseless claims. Okay. About the federal government potentially using the blaze to cover up secrets. Come on. Others fear that the aliens could have attacked to reclaim evidence exposing life outside Earth without providing any proof to back their conspiracies. I mean, the conspiracy theories have gotten crazy. They've gotten really nuts. And here's what's even more frightening, I think, is that people are starting to take conspiracy theories seriously. Now, some of them are interesting. But at the same time, some of these conspiracy theories are kind of like, what? Yeah. Okay. Now, this one was a very interesting article. But of course, I have a problem with it. And I'll tell you why. The Knights Templar, for those of you who know anything about the Knights Templar, allegedly, there is a theory that the Knights Templar hid Jesus's bones in North America. Yeah, folks, I know. All right, TK Randall wrote this. He says, the leader of an ancient order founded in the 12th century maintains that Jesus's bones are in the American Northwest. Speaking recently in an interview on the Danny Jones podcast, Timothy W. Hogan, who heads up an order that was established centuries ago to protect Christians in the Holy Land, has claimed that the bones of Jesus himself were removed from Jerusalem by the Knights Templar. He explained that the bones had been kept at a tomb in East Jerusalem during the Middle Ages and were later moved to two secretive vaults somewhere in North America. And they were allegedly among many holy relics moved by the Knights Templar to the New World to conceal their whereabouts from the Vatican. Quote, "This isn't something we're trying to hide," said Hogan. "We've just been trying to protect it." Well, when the tomb was originally discovered, with ossuaries labeled with the names of Jesus and Mary Magdalene, of course, and John the Baptist, it was understood that if the remains were to turned over to the Vatican, they would vanish. Well, anyway, the church would have buried the story because it contradicts their doctrine. Understandably, Hogan's comments have been met with a considerable degree of skepticism, with critics citing that the complete lack of evidence, save for him simply claiming this to be true. Exactly where these alleged vaults are located, even if they exist at all, remains unclear. If they actually do exist, however, it would certainly be interesting to see what ancient treasures, if any, are contained within their walls. So, look, here's the deal. This is another example, once again, of how people are trying to claim that, one, Jesus was married to Mary Magdalene. Two, the wedding at Canaan was Jesus and Mary Magdalene's wedding. And three, that Jesus did not resurrect. So the whole thing is absurd. It's absurd. It's heretical. It's once again trying to diminish Jesus' divinity, to make him appear to be just a man, and that's all. That's it. It is your typical nonsense, typical heresy junk that people are peddling. Jesus was not married to Mary Magdalene. That's just unbelievably irresponsible to even think. We know that he was not married. Well, how do you know that? Because there are historical writers that were not Christians that would have absolutely stated in Jesus's lineage if he was married. Flavius Josephus, was a first century Jewish writer, one of the most respected and well known. And he absolutely, in no writings whatsoever on any of Jesus's lineage, does it show Jesus was married in any way, shape, form, or fashion. So it's a lie. So the fact that in of itself should be enough to say, okay, this is stupid. There's nothing. And he was a Jewish historian writer. So he wasn't a Christian. So if Jesus was married, he would have said Jesus was married. He would have listed it. He was a historian. That's what he did. So people, don't fall for this nonsense. Don't fall for it. It's ridiculous. It's absurd, and it doesn't exist. Well, thank you very much. Thank you, Mark. Thank you very much. So don't fall for this, guys. And by the way, and I've said this many times before, the whole idea that the wedding at Cana was Jesus's wedding, that is so foolish. It's just foolish. Read the scripture. I've said this before. If it was Jesus's wedding, then when Mary went to Jesus and said they ran out of wine, he would never had said, "Madam, what of that is our business? That's not our business." He would have never said that to her. If he was the groom, that would have been the most disrespectful thing you could have done to the people coming to your wedding. Because remember, it's not like they can get an Uber. I mean, they walked or they rode on a donkey or on a camel. And sometimes they traveled for days to get to these weddings. So a wedding was not just a one-day event. So the idea that Jesus would have said, well, that's not our business. He would not have said that. He would not have said that if it was his wedding. So again, all these things do, all these people do, they try everything they can to discredit Christ's divinity. Everything. Sometimes up to 1 to 2 weeks. I mean, it was a big. These were big festivals, because remember, also, a lot of times they stayed with family. They stayed with the family, so hospitality was very important. It was incredibly costly. It was not a cheap event, and so when people traveled, remember, it took a couple of days, maybe even longer, to get to that location, and then they showed up, and you don't have the proper refreshments. That would have been very disrespectful. They would have never done that. Never. So anyway, guys, I'm just letting you know. Excellent. So just don't listen to that nonsense. Don't get caught up in that silly drama and the lies, because that's all they are. They're lies. One thing that's really interesting, I want to talk about when you're paranormal investigating, switching gears here. One thing that people like to do as investigators is use what are called trigger objects. Now, there's a lot of people who swear by them. I have actually used trigger objects, and I'll tell you a story at a hospital once in just a second. But listen to this. This is a very interesting article, and I don't know, doesn't say who the author is. That's no good. But it says here, so trigger objects are used in paranormal investigations to entice spirits or paranormal entities to interact with the environment in order to provide evidence for their presence. So these objects can be anything from toys, which might appeal to the spirits of children. But see, that's the problem right there. Folks, and this is just me. This is me. In every single case that I have worked, no, I do not believe Jesus had descendants at all. Because if he would have had descendants, again, it would have been in his lineage. And there's nothing. There's nothing. Because again, Flavius Josephus wouldn't have hid that. He would not have hid that at all. So because he was not Christian. So anybody who thinks that, no, there's nothing as far as Jesus having children or being married to Mary Magdalene. There's nothing. There absolutely is zero historical evidence to show that. And there would have been. There absolutely would have been. But good question. So when it comes to children, in every single case that I have worked, when it comes to children ghosts, they were not children at all. And this is just me. In every single case that I have worked, they were demonic. Every single one. Now, I'm not implying that it's universal, but I'm saying and I can only speak from my experience. That's what I found. So by strategically placing these trigger objects in a haunted location, paranormal investigators hope to capture physical evidence of a spirit's presence through movement or manipulation of the object. Investigators often call out to the spirits, encouraging them to move or touch the object as a way of communicating. And this evidence is often captured on video or with the aid of other equipment. Like, for example, if it's a woman and you would have a hairbrush or something that she would have enjoyed, or even a piano, if they played instruments. Well, it's not so much provocation. It's more getting them interested in it, because they use the theory is they used it. Well, thank you there, Beatrice. The theory is they used it when living, and that would trigger them to use it in the spirit life. That's what the whole trigger object is. That's what the theory is. Now, investigators often select a trigger object that's appropriate to the location. Like objects such as glasses or books or even articles of clothing can be used in settings associated with specific individuals. For example, if a former homeowner was known to be an avid reader, you might have a book from their collection might be used in an attempt to draw them out. And perhaps the most commonly used trigger objects are toys. and like dolls or balls or games from the era which the children lived, even clothing, music, a deck of cards, yeah. Everyday objects from the relevant time period can also serve as an effective trigger object. Uh, Vintage radios, tools, coins, anything like this. So I'll tell you a story. It was very interesting. It was at South South Hospital. I forgot the full name. It's been so long ago, but it's in I think Knoxville, Tennessee, and I forgot the name of the hospital. This was many years ago, but we were there, and we were on the upstairs where the hospital rooms were. This was way back in the day when they were just starting to let people investigate and even stay the night there, and it was not clean. It was ugh, it was anyway, not the best condition. They've gotten it better now, but I don't know if it's still running or not. But what they did is someone had a machine, a heart machine, go beep beep beep. Oh, yeah, Old South Pittsburgh Hospital, yeah. And so we were upstairs on the floor. I think it was upstairs, and all the lights, of course, were off. And we heard this like heart beep beep, and then it would speed up, beep 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 beep, and then flatline. And you'd hear this flatline noise, and then it would start back up, beep beep. That was profound. That was really amazing, and that was actually the first time they ever did that there. Very first time. Esposito. I was there with him when he did that, and had never done that before. And boy, I tell you what, the evidence that they captured was just intense. One EVP almost sounded like an oxygen machine. It was kind of strange. Another, we heard coughing, like someone was coughing, couldn't get their breath. There was it was just eerie. It was very eerie, but and this thing echoed throughout all the hallway. I mean, this whole entire hallway. It was dark, and they had red lights, the emergency lights. So that's the only thing. That's the only light that we had. Is these red lights that was shining through the hallway, and all the lights were off, and you just heard this beep, 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 and then it just flatline. It was really interesting. Let me see if I can. I'm gonna see if I can hold on. I'm gonna see if I can recreate that, because if you imagine if you're in the hospital at Old South Hospital, and you're in the hallway with other people, and all the lights are off, and the only light was that emergency light. That's it, red, and this red fluorescent light was shining, down to the hallway, and then we heard this. Just like that. Thank you. Thank you, Rondi. And that's what we heard in this hallway, dark hallway. And then it was sped up, but that's considered like a trigger object, and it worked. It worked. Oh yeah, it was loud. You could hear it all the way from the beginning of the hallway, where that red light was, all the way down to the very end. People could hear because it echoed, because it was just us, and they were in complete dark down there. I mean, because they could barely see that red light, and I was kind of further down there as well. And this is just echoey. So that's what I mean. And when it just like this. I mean, I think that sounded like actually exactly what it was. Yeah. And that's the code. But I'm telling you guys that was intense. That was a very intense experience. Um, I think it was Esposito. I think it's been so long ago, but he's the first one to ever do that. And so when we did that trigger object, we captured a lot of evidence. We had digital recorders in every other room. I know I did. I had like 4 or 5 where I was, just because I wanted to see if that would be triggering. And it was a very clear cough, like someone was trying to, they couldn't like breathe. It was like it was a laborious cough. There was one we got to help me. I don't know if I have that EVP or not. Let me see if I do. One sec. I'll see if I have it. It says help me. Yeah, I do. Did you hear it? So we're walking. You can hear us. We're walking. And you hear this, help me. I'll play it one more time. Do you hear that? One more. So it says help me. And that was at the hospital. And that's after we were, doing that, and we were just kind of, I think, going to another room. It's been so long, I can't remember where it was. But we clearly heard it help me. So that would be like a trigger object. And when you capture evidence like this or EVPs like this, well, thank you very much. Thank you, I appreciate that. Well, thank you there, so Sean. I appreciate you. Hello there. It's kind of crazy, or same thing like when you capture EVPs, for example, like Seth. When I went to Eastern Cemetery, in Louisville, Kentucky. By the way, for those of you who don't know, Eastern Cemetery was terrible. The caretaker actually buried people on top of one another. Now, in Louisville, that's against the law. So he would actually sometimes he would actually take the coffins and dump them in a ravine and then bury people in the same spot. It was terrible. He went to prison for that. But this, I was walking through the it was a little place where they store the urns, and I just wanted to see if it said, "Do you know who I am?" Because I wanted to see if they said, James or whatever. And I got this weird Class A EVP, and it says Seth. Listen. Do you know who I am? Do you know who I am? Do you know who I am? I don't know who Seth is, but when I heard, oh my gosh, because I didn't feel anything. I didn't feel any. There was nothing negative. I was just like, and then I went back to my car and replayed it, and I had my headsets on, and I just threw them off because, like, holy moly, because I wasn't expecting that. But it says Seth, and I was the only one there. There was nobody. There was no one there. So when you capture evidence like this, Seth. I mean, all I know about Seth is the third child of Adam and Eve. But I don't think it's. But it's, yeah. I mean, it's. Do you know who I am? Don't know. I don't know. In a minute, I'll play the growl noise that I got from. Hell, might as well do it now. Let's see. This is a growl that I heard at. One sec. Let me hear them. Is there anyone here? Hold on. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so this is the No, there was in it, I don't say it was. I don't think it was residual because there was there's an intellect there. Meaning, if it was residual, it wouldn't have responded to a specific question. And so, because just as I asked that question, it gave me an answer. This was several years now. This is at the Gates of Hell Cemetery. This EVP that I captured, and this was a very, I mean, all hell broke loose in the cemetery. And matter of fact, I did a documentary. It's on YouTube. You can go to my YouTube channel and you can watch the documentary. It's free. Just go to bishopjameslong.com, scroll down, you see YouTube there, and just click it and type in Gates of Hell Cemetery. But this is an actual EVP that I captured. We didn't hear it, so wasn't a disembodied voice. But we were at the cemetery and we said, I forgot what we were saying, but here we go. This is it. Is there anyone here or something?
Is there anyone here? Are you friendly?
So I don't think we need to replay that again. You clearly hear it. Again, we heard nothing. So if we had heard it, it would be called a disembodied voice. But that's an EVP. And when we played it back, and it was like, okay, and that's when when I tell you all hell broke loose in that place. When I go back to the, I don't think people should go there at night. Because if you go there at night, you're asking for trouble, and you're going to find it. You're going to find trouble there. It is a place, if you've ever seen the movie Silent Hill, or even played the game Silent Hill, this is Silent Hill. In the day, you don't feel it's not a heaviness, but at night, thank you very much. At night, that place comes to life. It's a different world. It is Silent Hill. But I always tell people stay away from that place. I don't go there at night. Doing good. I don't go there at night. And I encourage you not to go there at night either. I encourage you not to go there, period. That's one place that honestly, it's a bad location. It's a bad location. And you're going to find yourself in some serious trouble if you go there. I have. Yeah, Becca. I've performed the minor rite of exorcism quite several times. The problem is actually that's how it started. Yeah, Judy Ann's going to go camping there. No, it started there. It's over 23 years ago. So a family contacted me and said, look, it's an old abandoned cemetery in Kentucky. And no one knew that place even existed. Nobody did. It's an abandoned cemetery. And the family said, look, there's some activity. We don't, people going there doing things they shouldn't do, desecrating the place. Can you go bless it? Of course I can. So I went to that location. We did an investigation. And we weren't expecting what we got at all. So I did perform the minor rite of exorcism, but no sooner that just the same thing with Bobby Mackey's. When I was doing Ghost Adventures, it wasn't going to work because you do the minor rite of exorcism. Okay. But then people will come right back and do things they shouldn't do. And the activity starts all over again. So when you hear things like this is why when people say, well, I don't necessarily believe in demons. Well, okay, I understand that, but demons believe in you. They exist. I'm sorry, but they exist. Oh gosh, there's some pretty old graves. Yeah, pretty old. And unfortunately, a lot of them have been desecrated, which is terrible. Terrible. Now, by the way, let's go into this question. There's another article here. It's very interesting for those of you who don't know. There is a new documentary. It's called The Pentagon's Ghostbusters. That's it, folks. The Pentagon's Ghostbusters exposes U.S. officials Hunting UFOs and Ghosts. So the new documentary, The Pentagon's Ghostbusters, exposes U.S. officials hunting UFOs and ghosts. There's a new short documentary style film from the New York Post pulls back the curtain on a group of rogue officials inside the U.S. government who have, for decades, been using taxpayer money to investigate the paranormal, everything from UFOs and ghosts to psychic powers and monsters. The film is titled The Pentagon's Ghostbusters. It reveals how a fringe group of the true believers have operated in and around the corridors of power, pushing supernatural research under the radar, sometimes into mainstream defense programs. It's a story that veers between the bizarre and the alarming, combining real declassified documents with claims that sound like they've come from a sci-fi script. Now, some see the group as pioneers who might change the world. Others think they're simply, in the words of one critic, crazy. Anyway, the story begins in the 1970s during the Cold War. The CIA launched Project Stargate. That was a real government program that explored psychic abilities for espionage. Now, I'm of the belief that there are people that are legitimately gifted. And this included experiments with remote viewing, which, by the way, remote viewing was a very serious tool that was used by the military. It's the idea that people could mentally see distant locations, and even tested celebrities like spoon-bending performer Uri Geller. And the project ended in 1995, having failed to produce any solid scientific results. But for those who are involved, it wasn't the end. It was the start of something much stranger. You can watch The Pentagon's Ghostbusters from the New York Post. You can just type it in and you can watch it. I think it's even on YouTube. It's a new short documentary, a story film from the New York Post. So there you go. It's interesting. 2008, by the way, for those of you who want to know, 2008, Senator Harry Reid of Bigelow and a fellow paranormal enthusiast quietly funneled $22 million of public money into a Pentagon's program that on paper was meant to investigate threats in aerospace. In reality, much of the money went to researching paranormal claims at the Skinwalker Ranch. Guys, you have to watch this. It's like, really, $22 million? There are seasoned paranormal investigators that would do it for free. $22 million. I mean, hold on, I got to do this. Instagram again. Seriously, I know paranormal investigators who would do it for free right now. I think $22 million? I don't know about that, guys. That seems like... And I'm not talking... I'm not talking about Republican, conservative. We don't do that here. But $22 million, and you got seasoned paranormal investigators. I mean, that's just... I don't like that. That's ridiculous. Anyway... So the documentary details how government contractors and officials working on these projects reported terrifying personal experiences. Jessica Wyatt, a Pentagon official, claims she saw a dino beaver, a creature said to be part dinosaur, part beaver, and that paranormal forces followed her home, triggering poltergeist activity and monster owl sightings. Another official, Jay Stratton, described a shadow figure that paralyzed him on the ranch. He also said a werewolf-like creature haunted his family home. We spent $22 million on this? Come on. Well, look, here's the deal. There's a lot of people who have their own personal opinions on Zach. I consider Zach a friend. We speak periodically. But Zach is the owner and executive producer of Ghost Adventures. So you know, when the camera is on, you have to perform. And I'm not saying that it's performance at all. I am saying this. Um, when I was at Ghost Adventures, when I did the Bobby Mackey's, there was never once, never one time, ever did they ever say, okay, say this line or say it like this or do this. Not one time. I would have told them I would have walked out the door if they did. But not one time did they ever tell me, make sure you say it like this or say it like this. No, they did not at all. And I think that's important to note, because a lot of people have talked about that as if they were there. It's like, you weren't even there. I was there. I know what they did and what they didn't do. So, yeah, it was used for a UAP. But it is interesting. Now, listen to this, guys. I can't believe I'm so old. TK Randall, listen to this. Now, some of you you're going to feel like this in a moment. For those of you who are Generation Xers and above, are you ready? I'm going to make you feel really old. I apologize. And maybe Generation Z, I think it's right below Generation X. TK Randall writes, 25 years after release, the Blair Witch Project is getting a reboot. Friends, the Blair Witch Project, 25 years? Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Well, I'm in my 50s, but thank you. 25 years. I know. Hello. Okay. At the time of its original release, some people believe that the iconic found footage real deal. And like it or loathe it, there's no denying that the Blair Witch Project was a major hit when it released in 1999. Not only making it $250 million on a tiny budget, but also helping really propel the found footage genre. See, here's what I don't like about found footage genre. Okay, if you're going to do found footage genre, okay, but you don't need to move around like the cameraman is having a stroke. Because I don't like, I mean, that's not fun. That's not fun to me. Because when you do that, you ruin the movie. You destroy the movie. So, anyway, it really is. So anyway, for those of you who don't know, the film follows 3 student filmmakers who go missing after venturing out into the woods of Burkesville, Maryland, in an attempt to create a film about a local legend known as the Blair Witch. Now, what made the film so terrifying was that the fact, unlike in most horror movies, you never actually directly set eyes upon the entity that hunts them, thus leaving it all up to your imagination. Well, the movie also does a good job of building suspense as the trio become hopelessly lost, with an unseen presence relentlessly harassing them until they can barely keep a hold of their sanity. All right. Well, at the time of its release, the movie was marketed in such a way so as to make audiences believe that it was actually genuine footage that the authorities had found, and that the 3 actors who used their real names in the movie were actually students who had gone missing. Well, in the years that followed the movie's release, there was an ill-received sequel, as well as a reboot of sorts in 2016, which did reasonably well, but couldn't recapture the success of the original. I didn't even know that. But anyway, now to mark the 25th anniversary of the original's film release, horror movie veteran Jason Blum has announced that the series will be receiving another reboot that, according to Lionsgate chair Adam Fogelson, will reintroduce this horror classic for a new generation. Quote, "I'm very grateful to Adam and the team at Lionsgate for letting us play in their sandbox," said Blum. Says, "I'm a huge admirer of the Blair Witch Project, which brought the idea of found footage horror to mainstream audiences and became a true cultural phenomenon. I don't think there would have been a Paranormal Activity had there not been first a Blair Witch. So this feels like a truly special opportunity, and I'm excited to see where it leads. So it doesn't say when it's going to be released or anything of this nature, but nonetheless, they are now rebooting Blair Witch Project. They're not going to watch this. I know that they won't watch this. But in case they do, Mr. Producers and executive producers, please don't move the camera around like the guy's having a stroke. It's not fun, and it's not good. It's not entertaining, and it's actually, it makes it terrible. It's like, dude, stop. But yeah. Okay. There's a lot of really cool articles here. Okay, let's do this. All right. I want to talk about this quickly. Of course, people who are now experts in Yellowstone. I don't know why people think they're experts in things that they don't even study. And then people say, really? Is it true? Oh my gosh, I saw it on Tube to the U. It must be true. You know what I'm talking about. For those of you who watch social media, of course, now we have people on social media who are experts in Yellowstone and animal behavior and blah, 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 blah. All right. So this is by Oregon Live. Yeah. There's a viral videos of animals fleeing Yellowstone spark super volcanic fears. And people going online saying, oh, look what they're doing. I'm an animal expert, even though I've never even been to the zoo. I'm an animal expert. Listen to me. Spare no expense on sound effects. Anyway, videos of animals appearing to flee Yellowstone National Park have gone viral, leading to speculation that the park's infamous super volcano may be about to blow. Anyway, climate website Green Matters reported Tuesday that videos of animals leaving the park have gone viral, prompting people to worry about what could be driving them away. Those videos have been shared widely online this week, often coupled with claims that these are massive and unusual migrations of animals from the park, a sure sign that the dreaded super volcano is going to erupt. On TikTok, creators ranging from conspiracy theories to all kinds of people to AI-generated Bigfoot have weighed in, and they all agree you should definitely panic. But not so fast. Okay, is Yellowstone about to erupt? No. Plain and simple. That's the answer. No. Next. According to the United States Geological Survey, that's simply not how supervolcanoes work. Most volcanic systems that have a super eruption do not have them multiple times. So that means that while it's possible Yellowstone may see more volcanic activity in the future, it's probably won't be on that scale ever again. And it's certainly not overdue, as some experts claim to be. So why are animals fleeing then? Why is it? Yeah, and Judy Ann, because the Pope opened those portals. That was so. People sometimes will fall for it. Remember when Pope Francis knocked on the door and at St. Peter's, and everyone's like, oh, he's opening portals. He's opening portals. But yet there was a camera inside the room. And there were people who opened the door from inside the room. Anyway. I don't know why people are taking these conspiracy theorists seriously. I just don't get it. I don't understand it. It is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life. So why are the animals fleeing then, Bishop Long? I saw it. They aren't. Scientists and park officials told Yahoo News there's no unusual animal migration occurring. Animals like grizzly bears, bison, elk, and mountain lions simply move around the park. the surrounding area with the seasons. And it goes on and 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 on. It talks about this. So, guys, please don't get your news from, a 16-year-old, with all due respect, a 16-year-old kid or even adults who have no knowledge. They just make stuff up. It's all sensationalism. That's it. That's all. That's it. So anyway, you don't have to worry about it. It's okay. Everything is good. You don't have to worry about this nonsense. It's okay. Okay. There is a new ghost hunting game. I hate that term, ghost hunting. I've never liked it. Anyway, for those of you who know, this is by Steve Higgins. And ghost hunting is a new paranormal point-and-click adventure game. So it's a new indie game called Ghost Hunting. Has just been announced, and it looks like a spooky but sweet twist on the classic point-and-click adventure format, set in a world of cheeky ghosts, pumpkin demons, and bizarre undead coaches. The game aims to mix the nostalgic feeling of 1990s adventures with a few more modern touches, and maybe give your face a bit of a workout from all the grinning. So Ghost Haunting, that's what it's called, Ghost Haunting, is a 2D point-and-click adventure with a carefully handcrafted pixel art style that's designed to echo the look and feel of classic games from the 1990s. Okay, so you can just head on over there, and it goes on and on. I'm not going to read this whole article. If you want to check it out, it's called Ghost Haunting. It's a new paranormal point-and-click adventure game, and yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't know anything about these ghost haunting games, but yeah. What is that, L? I don't know. I don't know anything about it. I haven't played it, so I'm not really for sure. Oh, by the way, do you guys remember that Storm Area 51? Do you remember that ridiculous thing that people thought on social media? People thought, hey, I got a good idea. Hey, Martha, come on. We're going to go storm Area 51. That sounds like a good idea, doesn't it? Yeah, let's go. That's good. Come on. And people actually, that's what they did. Come on, everybody. Come on, my pickup truck. We're going to storm Area 51. And then people did it. They showed up. It's true. TK Randall writes this: new Storm Area 51 documentary coming to Netflix this month. I mean, you got to look at these people and say, really? Does the elevator just not go to the top? Anyway, it's called Train Wreck. Storm Area 51. That's what it's called. Train Wreck, just like the people who showed up. They go to family reunions to meet the future husband and wife. It's called Train Wreck. Storm Area 51 will explore the events that unfolded after millions signed up to storm the base. It's a military base. They have great big signs that says, you better not cross this line. It's a military base. Anyway, Storm Area 51, otherwise known as Storm Area 51. They can't stop all of us. It's what they called it. Was an event that took place in September 20th, 2019. Thank you there, Dachshund. The whole thing was the brainchild of California student Maddie Roberts. Maddie, maybe you should have just stayed in school and just focused on physics. Anyway, who came up with the idea of organizing a collective effort to storm the secretive facility after listening to a podcast interview with Bob Lazar, a man who claimed to have worked with a reverse engineered UFO technology at the base. Anyway, Roberts posted up a somewhat tongue-in-cheek event listing on Facebook and didn't really expect it to gain much interest. But when the post inexplicably went viral a few days later, Then Maddie said, "Oh, what have I done? Oh, no, no." Anyway, says I posted on like June 27th, and it was kind of a joke. He said at the time, and then it waited for like 3 days, like 40 people, and then it just completely took off out of nowhere. It's pretty wild. Anyway, in the end, Roberts himself never actually went to Area 51. So the person who posted, "Let's all storm Area 51, everybody," that person didn't even show up. So on September the 20th, instead opted to attend an alien themed party in Las Vegas. But at least 150 people did reach the 2 perimeter gates thinking that it was a great idea. Ultimately, okay, I've got to do this. All right, hold on one second. This is no. So 150 people thought going and storming Area 51 was a good idea. And the person who posted this didn't even show up. They attended an alien themed party in Las Vegas. So for the 150 people that actually showed up at the gates of Area 51, that's about right. Yeah. That's yeah. For those of you who are in the back seats, I agree. Okay, so they showed up. Nonetheless, they didn't get inside Area 51. Anyway, you can watch it. Trainwreck Storm Area 51 will debut on Netflix on July the 29th. It's not a good idea. It's probably bad. It's bad. Well, thank you, Zach. It's bad. So don't do it. So if you're getting an idea that you're going to go storm Area 51, I wouldn't do it. Yeah, it's probably not a great idea. And like I said, then the person who posted it didn't even show up. Okay. Yeah, some people I just know. And don't forget. So we're going to be here tomorrow. We're not closing shop here tonight. We're just reminding everybody. And since there's a lot of new people who just showed up, folks, I do ask, please make sure you go and we're going to continue in just a second. But please go to our website, the sponsor's website, kgradb.com. So kgradb.com. Click on the shop link, and then you'll click my name and purchase as many of those products as you can. Because remember, 100% of the profits that would go to me, we're donating them to the MKS Kids Foundation. It's an orphanage. It's in Uganda. I've checked them out. They're legitimate. They're great people. They help kids that are orphans, give them food, shelter, education, clothing. It's a beautiful organization. So there's a lot of people who are here on other platforms. So it's a KGRAD as in dog, B as in bicycle.com. And click on the shop link. And just click on my name, and you'll see the show's information. And just, if you can, purchase as much as you can. The sale's going to be up for a while. But, yeah. So just, it'll be up there for a while. We're not getting rid of that. So, yeah. Do I still do investigations? I do. When I have the time. Most of the time, the investigations are already done before I get involved. So, like, for example, if there is someone needs an issue, they're like, there's something going on in my home. So if something is going on in your home, then what you need to do is you can go to bishopjameslong.com and click on the paranormal link. And then you just contact the Society of St. Benedict, and they'll get a team out there. They'll investigate. It's all free. And then basically they collect all that information. And, excellent. Listen. And then they collect all that information. And then basically from there, we decide what needs to happen next. But listen to this. This is a very interesting article that I found on Yahoo Entertainment. This is by Ayush Sharma. Best paranormal documentaries on Netflix: The Vanishing at the Cecil Hotel, House of Secrets, and more. Interesting. Listen to this, everybody. Paranormal or horror has always been one of the most intriguing genres in cinematic history. Viewers are always eager to know what's happening next in horror cinema. For many years, horror was considered a dying art, but movies such as The Conjuring, Insidious, Hereditary, and more revived, certainly the genre. However, viewers have also found themselves glued to their screens in recent years because of horror or paranormal documentaries. Well, for those of you who don't know, there is, here's some coming to Netflix, 28 Days Haunted. It is a competition series about paranormal investigators spending almost a month at various haunted places. Yes, please, 28 Days Haunted is one of the most unique paranormal projects ever made. In the docuseries, viewers see 3 different teams of paranormal researchers spending 28 days in some of the most haunted places in the United States. Well, sign me up. I mean, this is an older article too. The next one is, if you have not seen this one, My Encounter with Evil. So in the past, there's been a lot of projects about men and women experiencing exorcisms. None of them has been more exhilarating than the Netflix My Encounter with Evil. It's a docu-series primarily focused on 3 women and their battles with the paranormal. The next one is House of Secrets. There are times as when you look at a crime and imagine if something paranormal is involved in a case, called House of Secrets. Oh, you saw it? Did you like it? Yeah, I've not seen this at all, so I don't even know. But anyway, there's a couple of them there. If you want to go check that out, that's fine. I have not seen it, so I don't know. Okay, let me just check this. Now, I want to talk about this interesting thing. This is not so much paranormal related as it is interesting. And maybe you guys, for those of you who study animals or know a lot about whales, can offer some type of insight. T.K. Randall writes this. This is very interesting. Killer whales keep offering food to humans. Nobody knows why. So wild orcas have been documented on multiple occasions making food offerings to humans. Says it is not unusual for domestic animals such as a cat to offer you a mouse or a bird that has been caught. But this is perhaps the last thing you'd expect a wild killer whale to be doing. So nonetheless, researchers have documented over 30 cases of killer whales offering fish, rays, or squid to humans who are either on boats, standing on the shore, or swimming in the ocean. These incidents, which date back up to 20 years, have been collected by researchers from Canada, New Zealand, and Mexico in an effort to better understand this behavior. Remarkably, in some cases, the orcas attempted to present the food more than once after their intended recipient did not appear to accept the offering. It says, quote, orcas often share food with each other. It is a pro-social activity and a way that they build relationships with each other. Said a study lead author, Jared Towers. It says they also share with humans, may share their interest in relating to us as well. Orcas are particularly social animals, so it makes sense that this type of behavior might be a part of an effort to build relationships, both with each other and with humans. Yeah. It says here, quote, offering items to humans could simultaneously include opportunities for killer whales to practice, learn cultural behavior, explore or play, and in doing so, learn about, manipulate, or develop relationships with us, the researchers actually wrote. And given the advanced cognitive abilities and social cooperative nature of the species, we assume that any or all of these explanations for and outcomes of such behavior are possible. That's interesting. Yeah. Now, I understand it that they are not, are they whales or dolphins? because I heard on a documentary that there are more dolphins than there are more whales, but I don't know because I don't know anything. Really, I know very little about killer whales, but the name seems to be odd because so they are more dolphins. Let's see the things you learn. Very interesting. Yeah. Yeah, skinny orcas. Right. Josh on YouTube says they probably think we are really skinny orcas. That's a good one. Probably like, you know what? You guys need this more than we. So that's kind of funny. Yeah. Okay. Have you guys seen the movie or the show Stranger Things? I have tried to. My back is killing me. Ugh. I have tried to watch Stranger Things. I can't get into it. I can't get into it. Have you guys seen it? You've never seen it? I've tried to see. I can't. You like it? I saw like the first season, I think, and it was like, oh. Okay. Well, for those of you who do not know, for those of you who are big time fans, Steve Higgins has wrote this. Stranger Things Season 5 trailer has dropped with first glimpse at final boss for Hawkins. So Netflix has revealed the release dates for the final season of Stranger Things, arriving in 3 parts starting this November. And you can watch the new Season 5 trailer that's out now. And it was released July 16th. So after a long wait, fans have finally been able to get a proper look at what lies ahead of the residents of Hawkins as the supernatural threat looms larger than ever. Set in the autumn of 1987, the final season picks up with the town still reeling from the devastating events of the previous series. The opening of the rifts has left Hawkins literally scared, and its streets now sits under strict military quarantine. The trailer makes it clear that the stakes are higher than ever, with a darkness stronger than anything they've previously faced closing in. It is a 2-minute and 46-second trailer. Opens with 11 standing beside some person holding a weapon. Meanwhile, Max is shown in a coma, hooked up to a hospital equipment, while Lucas watches on with a sense of quiet hopelessness. Other key moments include Dustin kneeling at a vandalized gravestone for Eddie Munson, and a series of scenes involving radios and broadcast equipment. So there we go. It's coming to you guys to a Netflix near you. I just couldn't get into it. I don't know. Now, for those of you, I'm going to remind you guys, and some of you are going to feel a little older again. I apologize. I'm not trying to make you feel older, but I remember this story very clearly. Do you remember? TK Randall writes this: there is a new Netflix documentary explores the case of the balloon boy. So authorities in Fort Collins, Colorado, were scrambled when reports came in of a boy trapped in a helium-filled UFO. So the bizarre incident, which occurred back in October 2009, 14 years ago. No, longer than that, 16 years ago. Yeah, 16 years ago. Oh, it's even worse. 16 years ago. No, that can't be right. Oh, we're old. Anyway, it involved a 6-year-old Falcon Heen, who had thought to have crawled inside a large helium-filled UFO-shaped balloon. It had been constructed by his father as part of a backyard experiment. Anyway, the alarm was raised, and a search of the house failed to find any signs of the youngster and his brother. The balloon went on to reach an altitude of 7,000 feet 16 years ago, leaving the boy's family absolutely terrified. So anyway, that's going to be coming on. The ensuing drama is the focus of a new Netflix documentary, Train Wreck, Balloon Boy. That is streaming now, by the way. For those of you who are wanting to check that out, you can. I remember that. That was crazy. That was crazy. That caught the world. I mean, everybody was caught up in that attention. And now, for those of you, I'm going to make you feel a little older. Do you realize that Michael Jackson passed away in 2009? It has been 16 years. 16 years since Michael Jackson passed away. I know. And here's, and you guys are not going to like me anymore. But I've got, I mean, I'm not trying to, I understand the pain. I get the pain. I get the pain because I'm feeling it too. But for those of us who know this movie, Back to the Future was filmed in 1985. 40 years ago. It's a 40. 40 years ago. I don't like this. Yes, it's true. It's true. I don't know. Yeah. I know. Yep. 40 years. 40 years. And the Game Boy was released in 1989. 36 years ago. And even think about the 9/11. I remember that like it was yesterday. That's 24 years ago. Josh is taking his earbuds out. 9/11 is 24 years ago. How is this? I know. I'm sorry, guys. This is okay. Well, I just wanted to pass that information. Hopefully, hey, it's a Saturday night. Go drink a couple wine coolers or something. You know what I mean? It's kind of okay. This is yeah. I remember 9/11 like it was yesterday. I remember. For those of you who are in Rochester, New York, Mr. Randall writes this: there was a possible mountain lion filmed outside a home in Rochester, New York. A mysterious large cat was filmed by a doorbell camera casually strolling past the house in a quiet neighborhood. The sighting, which took place just before 4 a.m. on Wednesday, occurred outside the house of Stephanie Bays, whose dog had also started to bark and howl at the unexpected visitor. And on her Ring doorbell camera footage, a large cat can be seen walking from right to left. It says, quote, "We do have outside cats. Sometimes they come to our porch and we could see them on the camera, but we could see it clear." And it says, once I'd seen the camera, I was like, the tail was way too long and it was way too big. The posture was way too big. Anyway, after the clip was posted on social media, I mean, you clearly see that's a big cat. It quickly went viral and even ended up being featured on local TV news network, and amid speculation that a mountain lion might be on the loose. Yeah, see, Judy Ann says it's a common occurrence here in the yard, but it says here, some speculated that the beast might have escaped from a nearby zoo around 6 miles away, but the Rochester Police Department later confirmed that all the zoo's animals had been accounted for. It says there may have been many claims of mountain lion sightings in New York State over the years, but most have turned out to be hoaxes. Well, that's not a hoax. That's a big cat. See, when you're having a mountain lion in areas that are, not known to have these creatures, that's kind of scary. Especially if you have outside animals. If you have an outside dog and the dog is chained up and it's a smaller dog, there's no way. Oh yeah, oh my goodness, that's even worse. Yeah, that's even worse. We're not even going to touch Sandy. Thanks a lot, Sandy. Right. 1982. E.T. 1982. E.T. Can you imagine this? I know. Okay, okay, everybody. Do you realize December the 19th of this year, December the 19th of this year, Titanic will be 27 years old. Or 28. I know it's 28. Titanic will be 28 years old. Oh no, that's just not, we don't like that. Yeah, it came out in 1997. 1997, friends. That's when the Titanic came out. You still never seen Titanic? Oh, you got to see it. It's good. Yes. 28 years ago. That's what I'm saying. I don't understand how things are going so fast. But it seems like a lot of people are saying this. Time just seems like it's just, and Jaws was 50 years. But it seems like it's weird. Titanic, the movie. I mean, maybe it seems like maybe just 10 years. 28 years ago. 28. Yeah, I've not been to the one in Branson, but I've been to one the Titanic Museum in Gatlin in Pigeon Forge. It's amazing, amazing. Man, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's happened with the time. Yeah. Oh well. I mean, why not? Let's really make everybody feel old. Sure. I mean, we're all ready for the senior citizen home. Let's just do it. Let's just go. Let's just go ahead and I'm going to say you're not going to like me. Okay, I'm going to do it. Are you ready for this movie, my friends? One of the greatest movies. A phenomenal movie. Phenomenal. At least I think it is The Lost Boys. 38 years old. 38 years old. The Lost Boys. The Lost Boys came out in 1987. 1987. What the hell? 1987. Oh, Lost Boys. It's a great movie. You got to watch The Lost Boys. Corey Haim, Corey Feldman, Kiefer Sutherland. A great, fantastic, vampire movie. Okay, so the Mindful Buzz, I'm done. 1987. Or The Outsiders. Yeah, I don't know. That's what I'm saying is how is this possible? The Goonies. Yeah, you mentioned the Goonies. Do you know the Goonies came out in 1985? The Goonies, 1985. I don't care what anybody's saying. Time is going. I don't know what's happening with time. 40 years ago. The Goonies is 40 years ago, 40 years old. Thank you, Beatrice. 40. Anyway, okay, we're going to wrap this up. Listen to this. This is by Mr. Randall. I don't know about this one, guys. There's a new mission now to Venus. Now, look, I love space. But there's a new mission to Venus aims to hunt down alien life in the planet's clouds. Anyway, so researchers from the UK are hoping to prove whether or not there is alien life high up in the clouds of Venus. With surface temperatures exceeding 450 degrees Celsius and crushing atmospheric pressures that are more than 100 times those found on our planet. Well, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. The conditions on Venus are undeniably hellish. But while the likelihood of finding signs of life on its surface remains low, scientists have long speculated that primitive life forms could potentially eke out an existence high up in the clouds. This is backed up by the detection of some other stuff on Venus with the last 5 years and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, our latest data has found more evidence of ammonia on Venus with the potential for it to exist in the habitable parts of the planet's clouds. Okay, so it says there are no known chemical processes for the production of either ammonia or phosphine, and it goes on and on and on. So now in a renewed bid to determine once and for all if there's any really life on Venus, Greaves and her colleagues have proposed sending a spacecraft to the planet to search for it. I got a better idea. Why don't you, instead of sending a spacecraft up there, just go ahead and give me the money, and we will divvy it out to everybody who's watching this show right now. We'll separate it so everybody gets a chunk of change here, and then we will tell you no, there's no life in the clouds in Venus, and then we will be millionaires. How's that, guys? That's a good idea. So, Professor blah, 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 all these people, just go ahead and just send the money to us. Just go ahead, and then we'll divvy it out, and then we'll give you the answer. And no. Anyway, what are you going to do, folks? What are you going to do? But that's the problem. Spending all. I mean, just really, you're going to have all that money and just for what? I mean, it must be nice to have that type of crazy money. Okay, here we go. Let's go with a new segment I'm calling Dumb Criminals. In Peoria, Illinois, a hapless burglar, we'll call him Larry, tried to rob a convenience store by covering himself. By covering himself head to toe in paint in an attempt to camouflage himself. Must be from Kentucky. He believed his expert disguise would blend him perfectly into the store's surroundings. However, he hadn't planned on the fact that the paint dries and cracks, and that most people have a keen eye for oddly moving objects. Anyway, as Larry slinked from shelf to shelf, leaving a trail of wet paint marks on the floor, the store manager easily noticed the streaks of colors crisscrossing the aisle, and even more comical, as Larry attempted to grab the cash register, his painted fingers slipped, sending coins and notes flying in every direction. Stunned by his slippery blunder, he tried to make a hasty exit. Anyway, the police didn't even need to search for him because he had unwittingly created a perfect trail leading directly back to his apartment. And Larry's camouflage showed that not only his location, but also his very move. Needless to say, he was arrested. I'm telling you. Our next criminal mastermind found himself undone by a dental mishap while attempting to rob a high-end jewelry store in Paris. Franz, a notorious pickpocket, hadn't counted on losing one of his most integral tools, a fake tooth. So as he deftly scooped expensive watches into his pockets, the tooth popped out, hitting the floor with a resounding clink. Disturbed by the noise, the shop owner turned around just in time to catch Fran's startled expression as the prosthetic bounced around like a rogue marble. Panicked, Franz scrambled to collect not just the watches, but of course, the rogue denture. Unfortunately for him, he couldn't perform both tasks with any defense, and he was arrested. And another story of brilliant criminals. In a baffling show of overconfidence and lack of foresight, Ethan decided to rob a local barber shop, but couldn't resist documenting his success on social media. Just moments after making off with cash and grooming supplies, he posted a selfie on Facebook with a caption that read, "Just got the cut and the cash. Hashtag feeling fresh." Ethan's attempt to bask in the online adoration quickly turned sour when users began commenting not just congratulations, but warnings that he might have been too generous with the evidence. And the barber quickly recognized both his shop and Ethan's grinning mug in the photo. Needless to say, he was arrested. Well, this is interesting. In a small town in Georgia, Curtis, an amateur crook, saw himself momentarily as a tech-savvy felon destined for greatness. He hatched the plan to rob a local electronics store. Thinking he could easily score a bunch of high-end gadgets. His downfall, however, came from an unexpected source, his own phone. Excited with his haul of expensive phones and tablets, Curtis couldn't resist taking celebratory selfies with the stolen goods. And wanting to humble brag, he synced the selfies. He synced the selfies to a cloud account without remembering to turn off auto upload. More astonishingly, the account was still linked to his mother's computer at their shared home. These are true stories. One more. Some people look for keepsakes from their adventures, but Charlie, the methodical thief, took this to a new level. So after robbing a bank in San Antonio, he had the ingenious idea of creating a scrapbook to commemorate his experiences. It's a step-by-step pictorial account of his heist from preparation to escape. Not thinking it would ever see the light of day, he went all out with his craftsmanship and carefully writing captions underneath incriminating photos of stolen cash and the bank's vault door. He even had a selfie of himself holding a blueprint of the bank titled Master Plan. Anyway, unfortunately for Charlie, when he was pulled over for speeding sometimes after the heist, he forgot the scrapbook was on the passenger seat. And as the officer asked for his registration, Charlie nervously searched through the book, inadvertently handing it over to the police. Needless to say, it was considered more than enough evidence to book him. Josh and Todd, an aspiring criminal duo in Baltimore, attempted a liquor store heist with a plan as slick as oil and just as messy. Rather than using bags for the bottles they targeted, they brought along heavy, dusty gloves with extra grip technology, confident they'd be able to carry more than their competition. Well, they initially managed to grab a promising haul, yet the mission spiraled downhill after Todd sneezed with the unexpectedness of a cannon shot. Startled, both crooks dropped their precious bottles, the gloves, only adding a stubborn stickiness. The cascade of glass crashing to the floor was immediately the cacophony of chaos, drawing the attention of everybody within earshot. And panic-stricken and surrounded by broken bottles, the bandits, well, they couldn't keep their balance on the newly made slippery surface. In trying to make a run for it, they repeatedly slipped like cartoon characters on banana peels. And by the time the police arrived, Josh and Todd were still struggling to disentangle themselves from their sticky situation. One more, and then we're going to be done. Cindy, an enthusiastic shoplifter with a penchant for DVDs, thought she could outsmart anything or anyone. And her plan? swap the barcodes from cheap items onto a more expensive tech gadgets and dash out of the store feeling smarter than the average shopper. Well, her moment of reckoning came when she targeted a popular retail store and attempted to replace the barcode of a luxury tablet with that of a potato peeler. Nonchalant in the checkout line, Cindy seemed satisfyingly convinced that she had pulled a stroke of genius, and that was until she fumbled her purse, dropping everything, including the sticker sheet of additional barcodes, on the floor in full view. Before she could gather her misbegotten wares and make her exit, store security was on her, and while carting her away, Cindy tried arguing her way out of the situation by claiming she was conducting a price comparison survey. But the line between being an audacious mastermind and plain sloppy was clearer than the surveillance footage. Needless to say, she was caught as well. And that, my friends, is your dumb criminals of the week. Pretty bad stuff, guys. I mean, when you do that kind of thing, that's a different level of cray-cray. It's kind of, it's like, okay, whatever, okay. All right, for those of you who are listening to this on podcast, we say good night to you guys and have a beautiful, beautiful evening. We're going to close that out with everybody. Let me close them out so you can have this on this podcasted. There we go. Yeah, it is the Sacred Division, the weekend edition. Weekend edition. Yeah, all this is, let's open this up for everybody briefly and say hello to everybody on TikTok. So let me do this now. I'll just do that. That's good enough. And then you guys can, it's under open mic night. I haven't changed that. So I'm going to have to change the thing. But you just go to open mic night. Don't forget, so tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're right here on TikTok at 6 p.m. for Mass, Eastern Standard. And then we are live, everybody, on all platforms at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Bible study. So please consider joining us. For those of you who are watching us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, Rumble, and all this other stuff, remember I tell you all the time, your value does not decrease based on someone's inability or a refusal to see your worth. You're priceless, and don't let anybody tell you or convince you otherwise. Have a great night, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. God bless.